What kind of feeling are you getting?
Just souls around. Last time we were here with Lisa, Lisa basically could see what was happening here all them years ago. She was looking across through this archway, and all basically was there was fields. She could see a lot of people and children getting dropped off here. And I could feel and she could feel the demons behind us up there, and she wanted to ignore them, but they were basically watching, and she was saying that that's where they stood here. They choose the pretty children that they were going to abuse. The last time I came over, there were so many here, all crying, we're here. And it's I can feel very few, still some, very few. I've seen so many the last time. See over that wee cars part, the guy was hanging the last time we were here.
Hanging?
He'd hung himself. Just he's still here. The guy hung himself.
What kind of feeling are you getting?
He's just in purgatory. Because he committed suicide for some reason. But he wasn't one of the children. He worked in the home or the workhouse. But his soul's still here.
Is there anything you could do for him, or?
All you can do for souls in purgatory is pray for them, but they're doing their penance for what they did. Most of our guardians, were basically, the ones I've met were demons. This man's suffering, maybe
Guilt?
Guilt or whatever, yeah. But he's still here in his purgatory. He's still hanging from the post that used to be there.
Yeah. And what we were saying about the demons as well, they were strong. They were strong in life over the kids, right?
Well, I think they were pathetic in life over the kids, although they were
that's
strong because the kids were only kids.
But then in death as well, they had that power until
they still had the power over the children because the children weren't basically buried properly. They weren't buried in consecrated ground, and they were nameless, and they weren't purgatory.
But when the kids came to you in the first experience, when we started doing this, they were terrified of the guardian who now had become a demon.
Well, the first time the kids came to me, they came into my kitchen and they said, "Can you help us?" And as soon as they said that, they left because the demon came on after them and said, "You can't talk to these boys. You can't do what you think you're going to do. There'll be repercussions, and it'll affect my family that are living now." And they warned me that they'd hunt me, and they stopped what I was doing. But them boys were near 100 years dead, and nobody cares about them. And why should I care about them? Well, the two kids told me his name first of all, so they exposed him. And he didn't like that because he told me that I would never expose him because he didn't give me a reason. He says, "You'll never expose me until I investigate into some Prony records for Northern Ireland." And he said that the guardians' names had been sealed for 100 years. And yet the two boys told me his name and another demon's name that was their guardians.
And does this guy still come and visit you, this demon, this guardian?
He's getting weak and weaker and weaker since he's been exposed. And I've actually helped release the children from him. They're no longer with him. So he's so small and pathetic.
You were talking about a graveyard and so many people buried in one grave.
When they exhumed the bodies from here in 1996, they found 400 bodies. But I don't think that was all the bodies they found. I think there's still more bodies here. This area here, the last time I was over, it felt the same way it does now. It's like walking through a wall of souls. They all just seem to be gathered around here, and it just feels like you're walking through them.
Age group, is there, can you define an age group or what? Is it mixed?
It's a whole mixture. There's a lot of children, but there's a lot of young, well, obviously young girls here as well, but it seems to be so many, it's just like walking through a wall.
And I know what's their mood like, if you know what I mean?
They're just standing looking. They're just basically looking at it.
So how do you feel after this journey, or this trip?
It's very similar to the first time I came over, but there's not as many souls here now. I can feel souls from here, but I don't know what happened in that corner. There are souls here, but they're not saying anything, or they're just. There's a lot must have happened in this part here. Whatever it was in the workhouse, I don't know what it was.
Do you think there'll ever come a day when they've all totally been gone? They all can move on?
Well, there's so many. I think there's still so many bodies buried here. I mean, they might never be found, basically. They could be prayed for, but the main thing is everybody has to know the names of the children that were here, and there are records. The records in the minutes it was kept. There's records of all the guardians, and if all that comes out, all the names of the children, and babies and mothers, then people know who they are.